Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve Ramona and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast. Steve Ramona.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I am so thrilled to have you join us today. This podcast is dedicated to exploring the idea of doing business and living life with a purpose. And that purpose is approach our work and our lives with a servant's heart. We can truly make a difference when we do that. And we create this show so we can motivate you, inspire you, and educate you to make an impact in your world. And my guest is going to do that with so much great experience she's had. And while you're listening to her today, I want you to think about how you're going to serve yourself and serve others today. Let's not wait till tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Let's do it today. And think about what kind of impact you create today. I guarantee when you do that, you're going to make a difference in your life. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by an incredible partner, Pantheon Alliance. This is a community of high income, highly successful business owners and entrepreneurs from very diverse industries, and together building a thought leader platform to impact and change the world. And they're doing some great things. And if you want more information, just reach out to me. We'll get you all connected. With that being said, impact. The book is called Get the F Out, Liberating Fear and Letting Love In. Well, the F part really catches your ear. We'll leave it up to that. So I want to welcome my incredible guest, Carolyn. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Steve. I am delighted to be here.
What the heck about this title and the book? I want to jump right into it because I love the title. It's very unique and different. And what's the mission of the book?
So my mission with the book is really to help people understand that fear doesn't have to drive their lives. I know in my own life, before I wrote the book, I realized how much I was living my life based on fear-based thinking, limiting beliefs, doubting myself. And the book's purpose and mission really is to give people strategies to understand that our minds are really powerful and that you can take back your power. You don't have to let the monkey chatter or the negative Nancy's or Debbie Downers in your brain control your thoughts and your actions and your beliefs, that you are actually powerful enough to create mastery over your own thinking. And then when you do that, you create mastery over your life because you make different choices. So that's really what the book is about.
Great timing with COVID and recession and economy and elections and all that crazy stuff. It's a great time for everybody to get the book. What are some of the topics in the book that people would be interested in?
So, for example, the second chapter is the 7 Faces of Fear, where I discuss different forms of fear that we all have, like anger and depression, self-sabotage, things like that. And how, where that stems from and how to work through that. And then each chapter has a mantra at the end of the chapter that is meant to help people move through that, change that self-talk. There's also a workbook that I created with the book too, if people want to go deeper into it. But that is one of the chapters that I think is really helpful. Another chapter is about present moment awareness and becoming consciously aware of what we're focusing on. There's so many distractions, right? I mean, we are just, especially now, we're constantly bombarded. And to take back that power of really being focused on what you're doing in the present moment. Turn off the distractions. Like, I have very few notifications on my phone,
Very good.
and that's intentional.
Yeah.
So that when I'm talking with you, I'm not having things popping up on my phone or on my laptop, distracting me from you and I having a genuine present moment conversation that can make a difference in somebody's life.
It's
Right.
a great,
So
yeah, great tip. A
present
great tip.
moment focus,
Yeah. Yeah.
looking at your obstacles as opportunities. Every time we face a challenge, it's an opportunity for us. So, seeing through that and allowing ourselves to say, what's the opportunity in this situation? What can I learn from it? How can I better myself through this experience, and hopefully only experience it once, right?
Yeah.
Because, the lessons keep showing up until we learn them,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's just how it works.
So those are just a few of the chapters and a few of the topics that I discuss in the book.
It's very cool. I love the idea. And it sounds like such a great book. But your past experience is very, not unique, but very big because you work with Fortune 500 companies. What did that teach you with fear?
Wow. When I was in pharma, our whole the way we were managed was fear-based. And I really learned a lot from that. In number one, long term, it's not a great strategy for your employees. You can get some short-term results with, fear-based management. Long term, it's not good. And, ultimately, it disengages employees. It has a negative impact on morale, and all that affects your productivity and is going to at some point affect your bottom line. So I saw that where that, do as I say, not as I do. Or I can remember a regional director standing, this was actually a regional sales meeting, standing in front of the stage with a bat in his hand. Either you're with me or you're against me.
Wow.
Like, really?
Yeah.
So I learned a lot through that. I also learned, I went through 2 mergers and acquisitions within that industry, and the fear that and stress that occurs during transition, particularly when there's not good communication.
Yeah. That's a big key. What would you tell somebody listening that's got this fear-based culture right now? How would you get started in switching that?
I would, the first thing is you need to connect with your teams, your employees, and find out what is going on in their heads. I have a local nonprofit who's going through a transition. Their executive director is retiring, and I'm going to be working with them later in the fall to help them navigate that whole piece of what happens in employees' minds when they're going through a transition like that. So in my opinion, I think the first thing you need to do is you need to tap into your team, your staff, find out what are their anxieties, what are their stressors. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
bring it to the forefront so that we can address it in a transparent way, and do our best to be upfront with the staff as to what's going on, and helping them understand what's in their control and what's not in their control. So there's certain things when transitions occur, particularly like mergers and acquisitions, that are out of the employee's control. You
Yeah.
can't control ultimately the choices that the executive team is making. You can't control whether you're going to have a job or not. I mean, you may have some control in that, but probably very little if they're deciding to lay off. What you can control, though, is how you choose to move forward and what you choose to believe and how you choose to act.
That's also the fear
So,
comes in too.
yeah, and that's where the fear comes in. Am I going to have a job? What's going to happen if I don't have a job? Am I going to like the new management? So those are all really valid concerns. And from a management executive level employee, are we going to lose our good people?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Mhm.
Let's switch gears. You talked about nonprofits. You founded Savvy Heart LLC. What's the mission of that? It sounds exciting what you're doing with it.
So the mission of Savvy Heart is to really help people and organizations learn how to navigate through transition and change and take the F out of it.
Yeah, great.
To help take the fear out. I mean, and you probably know this, Steve, the way that our brains are wired is we're wired to be fear-based. We still have an ancient brain. When you think about how much technology has progressed, our brains really haven't caught up, right? And so my mission with Savvy Heart is to help people and people within organizations really come back to what is it that I can control in my mind? How do I consciously create my thoughts? How do I keep myself from going down that negative spiral that gets me into this place of pure negativity, blame, shame, even to the point of depression.
Yeah.
And so it's really to help people work through that from what's going on in their heads, giving them those tools and strategies so that they can better navigate that.
Yeah, and I like that because mental health is a problem right now. Suicides are up. Things are happening in this world that's never happened before. And it's interesting. Talked to a guy yesterday. My dad grew up in the Depression. He ate cans of bean with his brother every week. He used to tell me
Yeah.
stories. That's not happening now. Most people, now there are people that are starving, but most people have food on the table, have a house, roof, and we don't really enjoy what we really have. And that's why I love your fear getting past that, because that's a lot of what the fear is. What am I going to lose, right?
What am I going to lose? And the flip side of that, Steve, really is having gratitude for what you already have, because we have so many first world problems here in the United States. We take so much for granted. And it comes back to that basic, I have a roof over my head. I have a car to drive. I have enough clothes to wear. I've got enough food in the fridge. And we take all that for granted. But when that gets taken away from you, you don't take that for granted. For example, with health, if you have a situation where you get really sick, when you recover from that, you really appreciate your health.
Yeah.
Right? If you
That's
have a
so
financial
awesome.
situation, maybe you have a situation where you had to file for bankruptcy. When you come out of that, you have a much better appreciation of your finances, right? And money, relationships. I mean, so it really is about living from a place of gratitude and appreciating what you already have.
Yeah. Life gives us
And that,
lessons every day.
yeah. And that, when you do that, it helps release those happy hormones and neurotransmitters in our brains. So we feel happier.
Yeah.
We're more centered. We can handle stress and challenges more easily because we're not coming from that place of lack and fear.
Yeah. Lack is a good one too. That's a really good one. Let's
And
talk
that's
about
a,
your, go
mhm.
ahead.
No, that's a fear-based emotion. Lack, greed, they're all fear-based. They're all based on losing out. There's not enough. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. Someone else is going to get it, and I'm not going to have any.
Yeah, or I never get it. No, yeah, there's a
Yeah.
black hole we can go down. We won't today. It's very
Yeah,
good.
that could be a
Appreciate.
whole nother
Oh
hour.
yeah, exactly. But I'm excited about your new project because I told you my family's involved with golf, and I played a lot of golf too. Is soft golf? Talk about what that's about. I'm interested in learning more.
Yeah, absolutely. So soft golf is a full swing golf game that's played with oversized equipment. So you get three larger face clubs. So for the golfers listening, 2-iron, 8-iron, and putter. For the non-golfers, driver, wedge, and putter. The balls are like 4.5, I'll say 4.5 inches. I think they're actually 4 3/8 inches foam balls. The holes are 12 inches around. And then at night, the grounds stay dark, but all the equipment lights up and glows in the dark for glow golf. So it's user-friendly, fun golf in a
So
nutshell.
it sounds like miniature golf on steroids.
Kind of, but it's not. It's more challenging because it's full swing.
Full swing, yeah, okay.
So
And how
it's the same fundamental skills as regular golf.
just using a different equipment than a regular golfer
Yeah.
would use. Are there locations right now up and people can go to and check it out?
There is one location, currently only one, and that is in Tanglewood Park in Clemens, North Carolina. So we're working to change that.
Yeah.
One of the challenges that Ray, who's the CEO of Soft Golf, has had is for years the balls were handmade. And so it wasn't until recently that he finally found a highly durable foam that had the right amount of density to it. And we do now have the balls mass produced, and they are made in North Carolina, actually. So
Keep it in
we
the USA.
try to do,
Yeah.
we try to do as much locally as possible.
And this is
Because
interesting because golf is billions of dollars a year industry. I mean, a lot of golf everywhere. Even in California, it's golf almost 20, 12 months out of the year.
right.
So this is awesome. So do I buy my own equipment or do I come to Tanglewood and the equipment's there? How's that work?
So currently, right now, you have to come to Tanglewood Park to play soft golf,
Yeah.
and we provide the equipment. So
And I
the
would
golf clubs are still handmade right now too.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, we're working on potentially changing that and being able to expand to other areas and develop some other versions of it.
Yeah, I like and you diversify you've got multiple things that you're doing.
Mhm.
Let's go back to fear because that's a big part of what you do. What is an entrepreneur is much different than the CEO president, I feel. I mean, they're the CEO president of their company. What's one tip you give an entrepreneur? Because it's fearful just being an entrepreneur, starting that whole journey. What's a tip you would give them when they're starting?
Well, it's hard to boil it down to one, but the two that I would say with an entrepreneur, number one, you really need to know your why. Why are you doing this business? Because your mission has to be deep. You're going to come across, and you know this, Steve, as an entrepreneur, you're going to come across challenges you didn't even think you were going to come across. And if you don't have that why, you're not going to have the resilience to get through it. So your why, it needs to be more than I've got a great idea and I'm going to make a lot of money. Right? And making a lot of money is great. Profit is awesome. I'm all for profit. It's got to be a deeper mission so that you have that grit and resilience to move forward. And then the second thing that I would say for someone that's thinking about starting a business is get your ducks in a row. You know, do some research on what you're doing, who's in the marketplace already doing, how are you going to differentiate yourself? What do you need to have in terms of filing within whatever state you're in? Are there permits that you're going to need? Is there insurance you're going to need? Is there contracts that you're going to need? There's a lot of planning that goes in place. And I can say, you know, when we opened Soft Golf in North Carolina, we didn't really have our ducks in a row. It was kind of like we got the opportunity, let's go for it. And so I can say that in hindsight. And now I also work with small businesses at the Small Business Center. And so I like to leverage my mistakes so someone else doesn't make the same ones. So that planning piece is really important.
Yeah, that's a great tip.
And have experience in the industry. I mean, if you want to open a restaurant, then make sure you've worked in a restaurant and you understand it.
Yeah, well said. I appreciate that. Well, we're coming to the end here. I knew the time would fly because looking at your background, like you've done so many great things. And I've got a great fun question I'd like to end the show with.
Sure.
So you've got a reservation at a restaurant, a table of 4. Of course, you're going to sit in one of the chairs. In the other 3 chairs, who would you invite, dead or alive? Why would you invite them to sit in the restaurant with you? And what food would you order?
Oh, wow. Oh, 3 people, dead or alive. One would be my father, who is deceased, and I'd love to have a little more time with him.
Amen.
He was an amazing man. The second, I would say, would be Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, because I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan, and I'm sure that I could learn all kinds of interesting
what stories? Oh my God.
Yeah, and stories. And then the third would be Richard Branson, because he is, I think, not only such a, successful business owner, he also has an incredible heart. And I think it would just be fascinating to have a conversation with him. And what would I order to eat? I would probably order crab cakes if they're like Maryland crab cakes, because I'm really picky about my crab cakes.
Okay, Maryland crab cakes.
And a filet.
Ooh, what a combo. I like that. A little fish, what do they call it? Surf and turf. Get a little surf and turf.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I got to thank you for being and taking the time, being a great guest on this show. What an incredible show. You've really motivated, inspired, and educated, like I said at the beginning, the audience. How can people reach out to you, connect to you, and support you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, people can reach out to me. They can email me at Carolyn B as in boy, Sullivan.com. I have a free worksheet for them. It's called Free Your Fear, Shifting Your Shiz. So it's a way to 7 steps to quickly go from feeling like really frustrated or overwhelmed to shifting that into a place of greater peace as well as solutions, and they can find that at freeyourfear.com. And support me. Just connect, reach out to me. You can find me on LinkedIn at Carolyn Bennett Sullivan, on Facebook at Carolyn Bennett Sullivan. I just love to connect and engage with people.
Fantastic. And audience, do me a favor, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, people are like, hey, I get all these subscribers, and it's great. But you get to listen to Carolyn over and over again because easily the channel's right there. People lose sight of the subscription. That's what I see the power of. That's why I subscribe to podcasts and channels, because I could just go to the channel and find that show. And there's a bunch of incredible guests like Carolyn doing what she did today. And you want to get motivated, inspired, and educated? Go ahead and listen to her a number of times while you're working out, commute, all that great stuff. Also, too, comment on the YouTube channel. This will be on YouTube right away in the next couple of days. Any information or what's the word I want to use? Talking about my show, how it could be better, because the audience, it's all about you, the audience. So critique, that's what I was thinking of. See, even on a host, we can forget words, and it's okay because we make mistakes. We're human. Yeah, any critiques, if you want to, good or bad, send them to me. Or if you want to comment on the show about Carolyn, I'll make sure those comments get to her. And if you can't get a hold of her, everything will be in the show notes. I'll make sure you can connect with her as well, either via social media or email. With that being said, me and Carolyn want to thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. And we look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day.